Hello, everybody. Mike from Southern California again, and you're on the mic. So today, I'm going to talk about. We're going to go and talk about the Vic Mignogna defamation suit and the motion filed by their latest attorney, J. Sean Lemoine, for to determine the scope of the anti-Slapp stay, as well as possibly alternatively for leave to conduct discovery. Now, normally the way in the TCPA, or what they call the anti-Slapp, it was passed by the Texas legislature a few years ago. It's the Texas Citizens Participation Act. This law was put into place in the event that private citizens were critical of public figures. Public figures would just frivolously sue them over it to basically to get them to be quiet. So the Texas legislature passed a law that would allow public, basically, if you're determined to be a public figure, then you had to allow yourself basically to be sued. Basically, what Funimation filed a TCPA motion, which the hearing for that is set on August, I think on August the 8th, I believe. When that motion is usually filed, all discovery is halted. Okay. Now, discovery is the judicial process of gathering evidence. It's basically the discovery phase of a trial is basically when the lawyers involved exchange documents, exchange evidence, set up depositions. This is a time of gathering evidence. Well, with the TCPA motion, of course, that's usually a file to dismiss on certain legal or judicial grounds. In the case with the TCPA, of course, it's usually because somebody who's rich and famous can't browbeat a potential opponent into the ground. And the argument has basically been that they're trying to say that Vic is possibly a limited purpose public figure. He may not be a household name, but he's popular enough to where, he can't just simply sue them for defamation. But anyway, so with this current motion, what they want to do is the way that Monica and Ron's defense is trying. They're trying to go after the GoFundMe. They're trying to go after Nick Rekieta. Trying to go after, going after the GoFundMe because they look at it as the war chest. And they believe that with that war chest, they're going after and a quote-unquote enemies list that Nick Rekieta set up. Throughout, and they did release portions of Vic's testimony. You can check it out, I guess, on Search Texas.com. Kiwi Farms, number of YouTubers on Twitter, including Supergirl, have posted the transcripts of that. Yellow Flash and Tug and Super Saiyan Paul all did videos on that. So basically, what it comes down to is that the portions of the testimony that they released on Vic were questions like regarding the GoFundMe, regarding trying to link Vic directly to the GoFundMe as if he was the one who was involved in organizing it when Nick did that on his own. They're trying to go after Nick. They want to depose Nick, but Nick, of course, does not want to be deposed. He's not a part of this case. In fact, part of it was when they actually filed the motion of intent to serve a subpoena on him. That was believed to be a an attempt to dox him. You know, basically, Monica, Ron, Jamie, and all their cohorts, all the people who kicked Vic, had hoped to just slander and libel Vic into the ground on Twitter, convict him in Twitter court, and have him just go away. But that didn't work because people stood up for Vic as he has stood up for them before. People have now stood up for Vic, contributing to the GoFundMe, sharing the GoFundMe, speaking out, bringing light to this situation. You know, basically showing everybody you can't continually bear false witness. You can't slander people. You can't libel people. You can't burn people's lives down for this. Now they're trying to get a leave from the TCPA because, as I said, normally in a TCPA mode, that's a motion to dismiss based on certain legal grounds. You know, claiming that Vic is a public figure. But they want to leave that stay so that they can depose Nick. They want to They want to try to intimidate him, get him to back off. And he's pointed out to them several times on his show. And for those of you who haven't seen, I recommend that, you know, if you want a better understanding some of the legal aspects of some of this stuff, you should check his show out. It's called Law-Splaining the Interwebs. Aside from his stream last night of doing it, Yellow Flash did like a half-hour video on it. Tug did a 18-minute video on it. And then Super Saiyan Paul did like a 10-minute video on it. All pretty good. At least give you some of the basic ideas of it. You know, many of the questions they were asking were like trying to link Vic to the GoFundMe directly. They're also making a big deal about how some fans at some point started calling Vic as kind of a joke Führer. Because they were basically trying to make comparisons of Vic to Hitler. But for anybody who has ever watched Full Metal Alchemist, you know full well that Führer is also used as the name of the title of the leader of the country of Risenbol, the setting for Full Metal Alchemist. It's not meant as to refer to Hitler at all. It's in Shokanen, basically. Other things they went after, and Nick tonight will probably be going. Well, he's going to go over Ron's testimony first via a video. I guess they got hold of the video of Ron's testimony. I think they may have video for all three testimonies, so we may in the coming days or weeks get to see some of that. Portions of Vic's deposition were redacted, but some of the stuff that was shown was them trying to paint him in a number of different ways. One of the things, and this is one of the big problems with Kick Vic, with Me Too. It's actually kind of a very sad chapter in our society in which we're coming to a point now where people are trying to sexualize normal natural affection. People are trying to say that, oh, if you give somebody a hug or a kiss on the cheek, a kiss on the forehead, even when the person in question is asking for it, you know, they're basically sexualizing it. It's kind of funny because it's a bit of a reverse psychology here when you think about it. Because if you think about it, the people who make that jump in terms of sexualizing normal, natural affection, you almost have to kind of wonder if they're the child molesters themselves, if they're the child predators themselves. I would argue that J. Sean Lemoine, the attorney they brought in who is a TCPA expert, for even considering that normal natural affection is sexual, maybe he's the sexual predator. Maybe he's the child molester. I would argue that for pushing that narrative themselves, the other attorneys involved, Casey Eric, Andrea Perez, and the defendants themselves, Monica Rial, Ron Toy, and Jamie Markey, they're the child molesters. You almost have to argue anybody who would make that argument that normal, natural affection is sexual, or would even try to, hint at that. Maybe they're the problem. Maybe they're the real child molesters. So, I mean, you go with that. If you go with that logic, a lot, you'd almost have to say every parent out there is a child molester, because, I'm sure many parents out there know this situation. You have your toddler age child. They have a toddler, maybe early school age child. They're asleep one night and they have a nightmare. They wake up scared. They wake up like afraid, like they think a monster's coming after them or something like that. So they run to mommy and daddy's room for security, for protection. They climb into bed, with their parents, and for that security. And you have people like J. Sean Lemoine and Casey Eric and Andrea Perez and Monica Rial and Ron Toy and Jamie Markey and just about anybody else in Kick Vic who would try to make you believe that there is something sexual going on in that situation. That's what they're arguing. That's what the point that they're driving at a lot of times. That normal, natural affection is sexual. I think most of us who take a step back and think about it no, that's BS. Okay? Part of the reason why I believe also J. Sean Lemoine filed a leave to conduct discovery is because he wants to solidify the position that Vic, as a public figure, shouldn't be allowed to sue Monica for defamation. Especially if he can convince the judge that Nick set up this enemies list for those who spoke out against Vic. But here's something that, and let's see who. I know one of the guys talked about it today. I think it may have been Super Saiyan Paul who made this point, but the thing is that if you're trying to find public figure the way they are, then it actually also applies to Monica and Jamie as well. And if that's the case, if it's like one quote-unquote public figure suing another public figure, then it's kind of neutral ground. It's like the TCPA, the TCPA would basically be null and void, because you're not talking about like a private citizen who doesn't have a whole lot of money and influence going up against a public figure who does have more money and influence. You basically have two people that you're arguing here who are both, maybe they're not rich, because, okay, particularly American dub voice, dub voice actors do not make a lot of their money recording, dubbing the anime. Okay, they actually make more money recording for video games and their convention appearances. That's where they make more of their money. Okay, they don't make a whole lot. They make a very small fraction of what like the original creators of the animes make over in Japan. A very small fraction. Okay. So the whole idea that Vic in and of himself has this big, a lot of money to basically go after a whole bunch of people is just ridiculous. Yeah, he probably makes enough, to basically be able to support himself and maybe have a few luxuries here and there. But he's not like President Trump. He's not like Warren Buffett. Okay, not like Richard Branson. Okay, but so that's basically what's going on here. Now, with that being said, I spent quite... wow, I really put a lot of time on this thing. Okay, so I'm going to finish up here. Okay, so check the links below if you want to contact me direct. My Twitter handle will be down there if you want to contact me directly. You can message me or, of course, comment on my videos and or you can tweet at me. I will generally reply to your comments. I always like the banter back and forth. Hope we can have some good conversations on this stuff. Also check out what I'm promoting, like Fantasy Soft. I'm promoting the GoFund, Vic's GoFundMe. Also Tugs Indiegogo, and a couple other GoFundMe. Again, guys, don't ever feel pressured to give. If you can give and it's on your heart to do so, please consider doing so. If you've already donated, please consider donating again if it's on your heart to do so and you're in a position you can. If you cannot, that's understandable. If you're not in a position where you can donate, at least help by sharing link. Maybe you can pass along to somebody who may be in a position to help out and donate. And with all that said, if you like this content, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until tomorrow, guys, keep the conversation going because you're on the mic. Bye.